Hello and welcome to the Billionaire Journey podcast. My name is Shola Matthew. This is a podcast that helps you move from zillionaire into a billionaire. No matter what level you are, this podcast will definitely be of help to you. In today's episode, we'll be focusing on the top billionaires in the United Kingdom. Yeah, many a times people discuss the top billionaires in the US or in the world. But today, we want to look at the top billionaires in the United Kingdom. Not just that, we want to look at the strategies and some of the things that have helped them to become and retain their billionaireship. Is there anything like that? Anyways, so according to the latest data from Forbes, the top 3 billionaires in the UK are brothers David and Simon Reuben with a net worth of 22.8 billion US dollars and James Dyson with a net worth of 16.2 billion US dollars. So the top 2 billionaires in the UK are brothers. David and Simon, that is the brothers David and Simon Reuben, they made their fortune in real estate and have a portfolio that includes some of the most iconic properties in London. Guess what those properties are? Anyway, I'm going to tell you some of them. One of the properties is the O2 Arena. How many of you know that? That O2 Arena. That same O2 Arena. Yeah. And they also own the Millibank Tower. How many of you know that tower? You're right. Anyway, is it tower or tower? Okay, so they have significant investment also in metals and mining, as well as number of other businesses. So you see, one thing is diversification, right? James Dyson, on the other one, is best known for his innovative vacuum cleaners and other household appliances. He started his company in the 1970s and has since grown it into a global brand with products sold in over 70 countries around the world. Isn't that amazing? Over 70 countries. It's more like a global brand, right? But these 3 billionaires are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the wealth and success of the UK's top entrepreneurs. Now, others on the list of billionaires include retail mogul Philip Green. Philip Green has a net worth of 5.3 billion US dollars. An investor and philanthropist Warren East. It seems all this variant Warren Buffett, Warren whatever, they seem to be very, very rich. Maybe I should name my son or my daughter Warren. Is this something I should consider? Anyway, let's move on with the podcast. Warren East has a net worth of 4.9 billion US dollars. You see, these guys are super rich, but there are certain things that we have to learn from them. So, what we can learn from these top billionaires in the UK, one key takeaway is the importance of persistence and perseverance. Wow, P and P, maybe the P square formula to wealth. Okay, could that be a book title? Anyways, persistence and perseverance. Many of these entrepreneurs actually faced significant challenges and setbacks on their journey to success, but they didn't let that stop them. For example, when I started the Billionaire Journey podcast, I had a lot of setbacks. I had a lot of challenges. There were days that I didn't even know what to say. There were days that I felt like giving up. There were days that I felt like I shouldn't record any podcast. But I had to persevere and I had to remain persistent. Right? So I believe that this podcast is going to be very, very successful. Right? If I continue to follow something like what these billionaires are doing. So if you also follow their footpath, their blueprint, or model what they're doing, why not? Maybe you'll be the next billionaire that we will celebrate or be talking about on this podcast. So they didn't let that stop them. They kept pushing forward and found ways to adapt and innovate in order to achieve their goals. If you have not listened to our episode on goal setting, please go back and listen to the episode, right? Either you're on Apple Podcasts or you're on Shopify or Audible, Google Podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to this podcast from, just search for the Billionaire Journey podcast, and then you'll be able to listen to our previous episodes, all right? Especially the one on mindset and the one on goal setting. It's really going to help you because they are more like, what do we call it now? Sequels, right, to this particular episode, all right? And also listen to stories of other billionaires that we've treated on this particular podcast, like Elon Musk, all right? Just go listen to those episodes, and it's going to really, really, really help you, all right? So another lesson is the value of diversification. You know, we mentioned it earlier while I was speaking. Diversification is very, very important. Many of these top billionaires have built their wealth through a variety of investment and businesses. And why did they do that? Rather than putting all their eggs in one basket, they decide to invest in many portfolios. This has helped them to mitigate risks and allowed them to capitalize on a wide range of opportunities. It is important to diversify. Very, very important. If you have, I think there was a time we talked about the secrets of moving from zillionaire to billionaire. That was our very, very first episode. Go and listen to that episode where we talked about how billionaires make their wealth. One of it is that they diversify. They invest in several things, several investment programs, calculated rates. Now, don't just say because you want to invest and then not investigate your investment, right? Like I said, one of my mentors actually told me that before you invest, investigate. That is, investigate before you invest. Very, very important. Anyways, finally, these billionaires also demonstrate the power of hard work and dedication. There is no one that succeeds in this life without putting in the hard work. Before I publish any of our episodes, right, we have to research, we have to write the script and so on and so forth. There's no one in this life that succeeds without hard work. A lot of people think that they could just become billionaires overnight. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. All right. Even if you win a lottery, if you don't know how hard work works or how money works, then you might actually lose that money, right? So it is important that you understand the power of hard work and dedication. These billionaires all have put in long hours and made significant sacrifices in order to achieve their goals, in order to achieve their success. Anyways, I do hope that this episode has provided some insight into the stories and strategies of the top billionaires in the UK. Thanks for tuning into the Billionaire Journey podcast, and stay tuned for more insight and inspiration from the world's most successful entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please head over to thebillionairejourney.com, thebillionairejourney.com, and subscribe. And please leave a review on this episode. When you review any of our episodes, help us to reach wider people. Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye.